All right, so in the last video, we went from side control to mount. So in this one, we're just gonna do a quick video on how to maintain mount on somebody who's trying to bridge you off them real hard, right? So a lot of the time, as soon as you take mount on somebody, somebody's gonna start bridging from left to right. They're just gonna try to basically power roll you off of them, right? And even if somebody's good at jiu-jitsu, there's some like merit to the strategy, right? If somebody gets into mount and they're just sitting straight up and down on you, or they're sort of hugging your body real tight, their legs aren't connected, and their hands aren't posting on the mat anywhere. Sometimes, since your bodies are in the same direction, in side control, I have them pinned like this. So Daniel tries to go left and right. I have my body going left and right. If I'm in mount and our bodies are going in the same direction, if I don't have like additional control aside from just being in this position, and let's say Dan just gets a hold of one of my arms or something and just starts bridging me wildly in that direction, like if I don't base myself in the correct direction or connect myself to his body, since our bodies are in the same plane, he can roll me pretty easily, right? So mount should be, let's get a little bit further in this direction. Mount should be a super powerful position. You should not lose very often, but you're only gonna be able to do that if you know how to maintain it correctly. So this is called anchor and base. An anchor and base is one of the most fundamental ways of maintaining your mount control, right? So when you anchor and base to somebody, you're gonna have two anchors on one side and you're gonna have a base on the opposite side. So in this case, I'm on top of Dan. I'm gonna take my two anchors. So my first anchor is gonna be, my leg is gonna go inside his leg right here, right? So that's gonna be one anchor. My second anchor is gonna be around Dan's head right here. Now, if Dan tries to roll me in that direction right now, I'm gonna base with this hand. I have two anchors and I have a base right here, right? If he rolls me in that direction, I generally know that he's gonna try to roll me back in the opposite direction, because most people who try to power roll are gonna power roll back and forth. So if Dan goes in the opposite direction, base, and I get my anchors in right here. As I feel him go in the opposite direction, I switch my anchor to my base. And I basically just control the guy with a foot hook, an arm around the head, and then my hand basing, and my leg coming up a little bit on my base. So I have my foot hook, I have my head hook, this hand is in the base. This knee can come a little bit out right here, because with this foot hook, it's gonna be really hard for him to get on this side and get his knee back in, so it's fine. So I have a base and a base on the same side. I have an anchor and an anchor on the same side. So let's get ourselves with our feet towards the camera so they can see the footwork here. So once I get into mount on Daniel, I'm going to put in one anchor right there. The other anchor is around his head. And then my bases are gonna be here and here as he tries to roll me in that direction. Bam, if he switches directions, switch my hands, switch my anchors. So I have my base, my anchor, as he changes directions, base, anchor. And eventually the person will generally wear themselves out a little bit, and then you can move into a higher mount position where it's easier to attack. So actually let's do that from the side real quick. At the end let's get that way. And then after you do it a few times, I'll slide myself up into a higher mount. So I'm here, I'm anchoring and basing, Dan bridges, bam, bridges the other way, bam, bridges the other way. I can sort of feel that he's losing a little bit of energy. Bridging back and forth like this with somebody in mount on you, you'll get tired quick. So from here, when he calms down a little bit, I start shooting my mount higher. And now I'm in a position where it's easier for me to attack. And if he bridges anyways, when I'm this high, I can really just base. And as long as my legs are squeezed tight, I really don't need to anchor because I'm way up on his chest where his center of gravity is.